welcome to the Building Your Brand podcast. Today, I am going to share with you 3 memberships that I'm part of and that I really love. And I think memberships are really helpful ways to find community if you don't necessarily have a small business community or a freelancer community around you where you live. And for a lot of us, we don't necessarily have that sort of community. I think it's helpful because often when you run your own business and you do your own thing, the people in your life, like your family, your friends, don't necessarily understand your business or what you do, or even just, the behind the scenes and what it's like to run that business. And so I think finding people who get it and who support you and cheer you on is really, really helpful. So yeah, I'm going to share these 3 memberships that I'm part of. I'd love to hear if you are part of any that you love. Definitely let me know. So yeah, let's get going. Before I start though, I am recording this episode from London. I'm here on a work trip. So it might sound a little bit different from normal. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm sitting in my hotel room, so a little bit of a different location. But yeah, so let's get started. First up, we have the best 90 days ever. And that is run by my really good friend, Hannah Eisted, who has been on the podcast many, many times. And this membership that she created is all focused around her concept of 10-minute marketing. So, you've probably experienced this. I definitely have. You kind of expand whatever task that you need to do to the time you have available. So, if you've got 2 hours, you spend 2 hours on it. And Hannah's whole thing is breaking down marketing, making it manageable so that you actually do something. I think so often we get really overwhelmed by how much we feel like we should be doing marketing-wise that we just end up not doing it because we feel like paralyzed by, all of the different options of what we could be doing, knowing that we can't do it all, but that we need to do something. So what happens in the membership is that Hannah shares a daily prompt for something that you can do to market your business that should only take you 10 minutes. And she really encourages you to only take 10 minutes to do it. And each week there's usually a different theme. So it might be email marketing, it might be hooks for social media. And you can do that task, and then it just really helps push you forward and know that you have done something that day to market your business. I think for a lot of freelancers that I've spoken to, or a lot of small business owners I've spoken to, I've definitely noticed this pattern where they'll get really busy with client work and they'll be head down and working on that and they won't market themselves. Then things will get quiet. So then they have to intensely market themselves. And it's this kind of feast or famine cycle. And so Hannah's just trying to help people to make their marketing more sustainable. And I just love that concept. Now, to be totally transparent and honest, I don't usually do the prompt on the day that it's set, but I love going in and seeing what the prompt is, and it really inspires me. So whether I do that prompt or not, it encourages me to do something to market my business that day. It might be that I save some of the prompts and I do them all together at a particular time. Maybe I'm like, I know I want to work on my email marketing. So I'm going to sort of save these prompts and, work on them together in one day. It might be that, there's a particular themed week where I'm like, that's not really a focus for me right now. So I can just leave those, maybe come back to them in the future if it's something that I want to work on. So you can very much take as much or as little as you need. And it's not just the prompts in the membership. So it's held on Slack. There's different channels. They have co-working. Hannah brings in guest sort of educators who come in and do workshops on different topics. So for example, I went to a really good one all about ManyChat when I wanted to learn about automation in that sort of way. There's been ones on SEO. I've done ones on branding. There's ones on podcasting. So there's lots of training in there as well. And again, you can just sort of come to what you want to. They're all recorded. You can go back and watch them. There's co-working, there's opportunities to promote your business. So there's actually a channel in Slack where you can sort of promote what you're working on. And I would say that this is a really great way to promote your business, to basically get your stuff, what you're working on, in front of a different audience. Now, I would caveat by saying this, you do really need to be mindful of the membership and what the boundaries are about promoting your work, because people don't want their memberships to just become a place where people sell. Like, that is not the purpose of the membership. So there's usually quite strict rules on how you can do it. So Hannah's created this particular thread, this particular channel on Slack where you can go in, and that is where you can promote your business. But yeah, it's a great opportunity. It's a great way to potentially find clients, to network with other small business owners that might be your ideal kind of client. And just build that community, support each other, get advice from Hannah. People will post in there and be like, oh, hey, can you help me, with a hook for this post? So there's like loads of ways that you can benefit from being part of the membership beyond just the daily prompts. I mean, to be honest, it's worth it just for the daily prompts, but there's so much more to it than that. So I would definitely recommend. It's currently open for enrollment. It obviously goes in 90-day chunks because it's called the best 90 days ever. You can either sign up for 90 days or you can sign up for the whole year. I'm going to share my affiliate link below. If you're watching it on YouTube, it'll be below the video. If you're listening to this as a podcast, it'll be in the show notes. So yeah, definitely go and check it out because it is currently for enrollment. And all of the memberships that I'm sharing today are very budget friendly. I would say they're affordable memberships. They're like, I don't know, they vary, but around the sort of £15 a month mark, and very, very valuable. So the next one that I want to share is the Being Freelance community. Steve Folland, who hosts that membership, has been on the podcast. He's a podcast producer and editor. We had a really great chat about podcasting. And it is such a lovely community. It's very much focused about supporting freelancers, obviously. And it's a great place to go to find other people who are in a similar situation to you, who maybe do something similar to you, who get what you do. There's like co-working. There's lots of really fun things that you can do. Like they have, every now and then they'll have like a Mario Kart tournament online with different members. There's a book club, so every couple of months you can read a book together and share your thoughts on it. And I've been to some of the meetups with the Being Freelance community, and honestly, the people are amazing and so supportive. And actually, when I had my podcast event last month, I was so touched at how many people from the Being Freelance community came along. And some of them traveled really, really far. And honestly, I felt so supported and so grateful that they came. And we went out for breakfast the next day, and it was just so nice to feel part of something and to have that sort of community support that you don't always have, with people who live near you. So yeah, Being Freelance, I would definitely recommend. And then the third membership that I want to tell you about is called Doing It for the Kids. So this one is a bit more specific towards people who run their own business and are freelance. I mean, freelance or run their own business, however you identify, but also have kids. So that is like a whole specific experience in itself. It can often be quite hard juggling those two things. There's like a lot to think about, a lot going on. And again, this is just a very supportive space. It is run by Frankie Totora. Oh my goodness, I forgot her surname then, but I just remembered it. Frankie Totora. And Frankie has also been on the podcast. We actually talked about the Doing It for the Kids community and what it was like running a community, what some of the challenges were about that. So that's a great episode to listen to if you want a bit of a behind the scenes. But again, it's just so supportive, people helping each other out, giving each other advice about small business things, but also, parenting challenges. So often there will be someone else in the group that has gone through what you're going through and, can point you in the right direction, give you advice from their experience. And that honestly is invaluable. So that is another great group. Frankie does a brilliant meetup once a year in London. Well, I don't think it's always in London, actually. I think she has it in different locations. But this year she's doing one in London, and it's so nice to get together and meet people. Again, great for networking. And I know for a fact there's so many people in the Doing It for the Kids community and the Being Freelance community send work to each other, refer each other. Often people will post like jobs that they've seen in the group. So very, very supportive. There's also like sub meetups or mini meetups, I think they're called. Some of these are online, some of these are in person, and some of them are very like topic specific. So there's one for people who are interested in podcasting, or, a group for people who want to work on their SEO. So you can definitely sort of like find your people, the things that you're interested in, find support. So that is another lovely membership. So those are currently the 3 memberships that I am part of. I would definitely recommend all of them. If you have any memberships that you love, I would love to hear about them. I think finding places where you can get support as a small business owner, but also the added benefit of potentially, finding new people, marketing yourself. Again, you have to be careful how you do that. There's going to be rules and boundaries in each of the memberships, but there is opportunities to share what you do, get to know people, recommend each other. So go check those memberships out. As I said, come let me know your favorite memberships. If you are watching on YouTube, pop them in the comments below. If you are listening to it on the podcast, come and let me know on Instagram. I'm at Liz M. Mosley or at Building Your Brand Podcast. And I would love to hear about your favorite memberships. Membership